Every spiritual tradition, we make use of acronyms to help us remember the spiritual practices, to help us remember to come back to oneness with God, to help us remember to be the best we can possibly be. And here are some of the ones that are used. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Fully relying on God. First attempt in learning. And always say a prayer. I don't know what kind of Unity or New Thought ministries you've had, but these ones have made the circuit several times. But here's the one we're going to look today. Dream. Dream. Do you? Well, of course you do. You deserve it. You deserve to dream. Step number 2, reach for it, plan the plan, work the plan. Step number 3, expect the best, affirm divine right order. Know that the good that you have planned is manifesting in you now. Step number 4, align with source. Realign with source, realign with source, realign with source. And number 5, manifest. We as humans, this is what I have noticed, we as human beings like to skip 2, 3, and 4. We get the D idea, we recognize that we deserve it, and we want to go straight to the because the is the delicious part, right? Good. Good. That's what's supposed to do is good. Right? We want to go from D to M. But the truth, the spiritual truth is that we are in all 5 stages at the same time. From the very instant that we begin to recognize that we deserve to dream, we are already planning. And as we plan, we're already expecting. And as we expect, we are already affirming and aligning ourselves with Source. And as we do all that, at the same time, we are manifesting. We manifest bit by bit. We don't just have the manifestation fairy come in and go poof and fully actualize our dreams. We manifest them bit by bit by bit. I had a dream of being a Unity minister, so I recognized that I deserved it. I reached for it. I planned the plan. I worked the plan. I expected the very best. I affirmed divine right order. I aligned myself with Source, and I manifested it. So does that mean my dream is over? No. No, I work this dream every day. And I'd like to think because I'm working it every day, then the verbs up here actually become active verbs, and they look more like this: deserving, reaching, expecting, aligning, and manifesting. Actively working and moving as me and through me. A number of weeks ago, Ed Corbin stopped me after service, and he said, I can see you have been sharpening your saw. And he looked at me and goes, you know what that means, right? And I'm like, yeah, Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I love that work. And I'm thinking you're like, I've heard of that, or I know it. But basically what it is, it's about taking responsibility for your choices and then working a model that's very much like this one, DREAM, and then recognizing the synergy that's going on all around you and sharpening your saw. So when I consider my own dream, being a Unity minister, I'm always sharpening my saw. I am always taking classes or reading books. I'm always facing my issues. And I'm deepening my spiritual practice because my commitment is to manifest this dream over and over and over again. I love my dream. Last week I asked you guys, did you have dreams when you were little? And you were like, yeah, I had some dreams when I was little. I dreamed about being a nurse or a dancer or an engineer. And now, as adults, I'm asking you, do you have dreams? Because adults can have very different dreams than children. Are you dreaming about being happy and successful and decisive? Are you dreaming about all that? Are you dreaming about giving and receiving? Are you dreaming about working? Are you dreaming about retiring? How many people in this room have dreamed about retiring? Just asking. I'm just asking. Here's what Stephen Covey says. Your life doesn't just happen. Whether you know it or not, it is carefully designed by you. The choices, after all, are yours. You choose happiness. You choose sadness. You choose decisiveness. You choose ambivalence. You choose success. You choose failure. You choose courage. You choose fear. Just remember that every moment, every situation provides a new choice. And in doing so, it gives you a perfect opportunity to do things differently to produce more positive results. Incredibly wise observation and invitation for us to step into. For the past 2 years, Nikki and I have gone to Norcross, Georgia for our subregion's leadership training. And while we're there, just around the corner from Unity of Atlanta is a Mexican fast food type of restaurant. We went there 3 times the first year. We went there twice last year. We would have gone more often if we had more time. The manager there has a phenomenal attitude. He's so friendly, he's so kind, and he's so courteous. And every person who walks through the door, he says, "How you doing today?" And of the handful of customers who respond to him and then ask him the question in return, he just stands there and he just beams and radiates, and he says, "I'm living the dream." I'm living the dream. I'm so inspired by him just to be in someone's presence who recognizes with that kind of vibration that they're living the dream. So I want to brag on somebody in this congregation who's living the dream. Her name is Louise Miller, and there's a picture of her. She usually comes to this service, but she's off living her dream today. Louise had the dream of being a good teacher. And whether she recognized it or not, she employed all of the DEREAM model. From the very moment she graduated and got her advanced degree from Appalachian State, began to manifest her dream. So all of this going on simultaneous in her. And because she was committed to sharpening her saw and living her dream, she was led from being a classroom teacher to being a specialist for gifted students, and then assistant principal, and then she was led to become a curriculum specialist, and finally a literacy coach. And after 33 years, she retired. But let me tell you that in retirement, Louise is busier than a one-armed paper hanger.
Oh, wow.
Do you know that phrase, one-arm paper hanger? You know, and for putting wallpaper up, you have to optimally have 2 good arms. I used to say this about myself all the time. I'm busier than a one-arm paper hanger. And then I got frozen shoulder, and I couldn't lift this arm past my waist, so I had to change my words. I changed my affirmation. I said, I am living an amazing life, which I am fully equipped to handle. It's such a good affirmation, we have to say it together. I am living an amazing life, which I am fully equipped to handle. So here's Louise, in her retirement years, fully equipped to handle a deepening of her dream. And the deepening of her dream is manifesting like this. She is becoming a teacher of teachers. She has developed a program for teaching teachers how to teach kids in a way that kids begin to think, to actually think on their own. She's been published in professional journals. She's been invited to speak at a national conference that's coming up. Louise is living the dream. Ralph Waldo Emerson is attributed for this quote, and can't find that he said it, but he gets the credit. Life is a journey, not a destination. So if you think about all of this and the choices that we make in every moment and all the choices that we've made up until this point, we can look back at our life and say, yes, I am on a journey. I am definitely on a journey. It's not about the although that happens organically all the time as we live our dream, it's about choosing to go right. It's about choosing to go left. It's about choosing to forge straight ahead. And sometimes we even choose to look back, which is not always the healthiest choice, to wallow in the past. In Hebrew scriptures, there's a story about Lot and his family and how they make the choice to leave Sodom and Gomorrah behind them. They make a choice to go forward, and it's a great story to interpret metaphysically, because Gomorrah is that state of consciousness that is averse to even considering spirit. It's that state of consciousness we get to when we're depressed, when we are starting to give up hope that our dreams will never come true, that we're getting depressed because they're taking so long to come through. We're in that state of consciousness when we get agitated and say, you know, this is not the life I signed up for. I can almost guarantee you that every person in this room has spent at least 5 minutes in Gomorrah consciousness. This is not the life that I signed up for. But what Lot represents metaphysically is that part of ourselves that has the potential to make a different choice, that has the potential to choose to go forward, to change our consciousness to God consciousness, to move forward in life. And he does that with his family. But at the last minute, what happens with his wife? She turns back, and she turns to a pillar of salt, no longer enlivening her dreams, no longer in that place where she can brag on herself, saying, I'm living the dream. Jesus said it a little bit differently. He says, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. I mean, that's like, sure, I know where I'm going, but I'm, like this. The truth is that it's the Father's good pleasure to give you, to give us, to give each one of us the kingdom of heaven. And we experience that kingdom of heaven when we DREAM, when we recognize that we deserve the dream, when we recognize that we can reach and work the plan and reach out and get that dream and expect the very best and align ourselves with Source. I want to give you an analogy about the A, about aligning with Source. So let's talk about clipper ships. Wow, yeah, just wait, this is so cool. In the first half of the 19th century, clipper ships were designed as an innovation for two very specific purposes. One, clipper ships went super fast so that they could take all the tea from China to wherever it needed to go, or the gold from the gold rush days in California to wherever it needed to go. And they were designed to stay on course better than any other ship had been designed before. And the way that the clipper ships accomplished this was because of the sails. There were a lot of sails, and there were different sails, but those sails were designed specifically to maximize the wind, the force of the wind. Now, there is a scale of wind force. I don't know how many of you are sailors, but a wind force of 12 is a hurricane. You don't ever want to be on the ocean in that wind. I sailed in Hawaii for many years. For 20 years, I was a racer. So we sailed, and our wind conditions were usually 3 to 5, sometimes a 6. But over the planet, over the entire Earth, most often in most places, the wind force is only 1. So that's not very much wind. And when you look at the sails of a clipper ship, those bigger sails at the bottom, they're called gallant sails. They're designed to catch big wind, to move the vessel fast when the wind is blowing. The next layer of sails are called royal sails, and they are designed to pick up the higher breezes. Not all the wind that happens is right there on the face of the water. So these royal sails reach up, they're loftier, they pick up that next level. The sails at the top are called sky sails, and they're made of a lighter weight material, and they're smaller. And what they're designed to do is catch those little tiny wisps of wind. Not enough to give the ship a thrust across an entire ocean, but just enough to keep the bow of the ship pointed in the direction that the captain wants that ship to go in. I'm going to tell a little story about my racing days. One night we were on the water. Well, it started out in the day, but it ended up in the night because we were probably just a little bit less than a 1-force wind. We were out there and we had up our version of the sky sails, and we're sitting there. We did all the right things to optimize the position of the boat to make it go faster, and we're watching and having a conversation like, are we really moving? And my 8-year-old son Mark says, I can swim faster than this boat is moving. And he went on and he went on, and after about 5 minutes, his daddy had had quite enough of that. So he took a 50-foot line, tied one end of it to the back of the boat, threw the rest into the water, picked up Mark and tossed him overboard. Mark was a strong swimmer. Even at 8 years old, he was a really strong swimmer. He eventually made varsity team, blah, blah, blah. That's not this story. So there he is. He could not swim as fast as the boat was going. So eventually he grabbed that lifeline and we hauled him back on the boat. But our version of the sky sail was doing exactly what this clipper ship was designed to have happen. It was pointing our bow toward the finish line and taking us there ever so slowly, but there was movement. So it may not look like we're making any progress toward our dreams, but with a sky sail, there is movement. In real life, I think our sky sails are love. And when we open our hearts to love, when we open our minds to love, when we open up our experiences to love, we continue to move in the direction of our dreams. We continue to manifest, affirm, expect. We continue to reach. We continue to know that we deserve our dreams. So the last thing in this lesson that I want to do is, as a community, set some sky sails. I want us to set some sky sails of love so that as we move forward as the vibrant, loving, spiritual community that we are, expanding consciousness and inviting personal transformation, I want our sky sails to be up. And here are the questions that are going to power our sky sails. We're going to think about something we love, we really, really, really love about our life. We're going to think about something we really, really love about ourselves. And we're going to think about something that we love about our experience about Unity of Wilmington this morning. You've had at least one experience this morning about Unity of Wilmington. So about your life, it could be your dog, it could be your car, it could be your wardrobe, it could be your job, it could be that you're retired, it could be anything. But one thing you really love about your life, one thing that you really love about yourself, I love that I'm kind, I love that I'm fair, but you name it for yourself. One thing that you love about your experience at Unity of Wilmington this morning, I love the way I was greeted. I loved the music. I love the people. I love that I come here with my honey. I don't know what you love because you're going to have to name it. So setting our sky sails requires action. And I want you to turn to someone who's near you and give them your 3 answers. Give them your 3 answers. It's time to be in community. Thank you for setting sail with Unity of Wilmington this morning. Let's sing "If Love Is Why I'm Here" as we go into a time of meditation.